What you're just seeing over here has got to be the biggest backstab in YouTube history. So if you don't know what's going on, iDubbbz has recently launched a content cop, which are basically videos that are meant to critique people on H3 or real name Ethan Klein. And what makes this content cop different from like the other ones is the fact that it's been a extremely long time since the previous one, which was like 8 years ago. I personally thought that the content cop, like the moment he announced that there was going to be a new content cop, I personally thought that it was going to be on Sam Hyde, not on Ethan Klein, but on Sam Hyde or iDubbbz himself, seeing how he has had a history with people like Sam Hyde, who's a comedian who is known for edgy stuff and is allegedly a part of the alt-right. What also makes this content cop more significant is the fact that this video comes off the backs of an already existing drama, that drama being H3H3 versus Hassan Pike, where Hassan and Ethan Klein had a breakup from their Leftovers podcast because Hassan believes in a one-state Palestine solution, while Ethan Klein is in favor of the two-state solution. And since then, they haven't been talking much, and their beef started to escalate in October when a lot of people in Hassan's orbit started to get under fire, and when the Twitch adpocalypse was going on. Then in January, Ethan Klein decided to release a content nuke on Hassan, where he accuses Hassan of supporting terrorism, downplaying Chinese treatment of Uyghurs and Tibetans, and for also being a far-left propagandist, and also accuses Twitch of harboring anti-Semitism, and called for an ad boycott for Twitch, and said he made the video to stop Hassan's influence. Now that the content cop on Ethan Klein is out, this could reduce the effects that the content nuke that was meant to be about Hassan Piker had on the influence of people, and is probably going to influence people on H3. And my recommendation for H3 is just make a response video on your H3H3 Productions channel, and you'll probably be fine, or you'll probably cook. But here we are. iDubbbz is launching a content cop on his longtime friend, and this video is ass. From the intro all the way to like the end of it, this video is ass. The video starts off with Hassan Piker. Surely that guy is normal.
Okay.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say.
Dude, we think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
I'm sorry, I need the money.
Oh, you want to see a Houthi musical?
Sure.
These were the people that the Saudis were killing, by the way. Just so you know, these fucking musically gifted individuals.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I need the money.
I'm gonna grab my
food. Never mind. Anyways, so basically he's out there trying to do this weird dance to try to troll Ethan with some other people. Maybe this woman over here is saying,
fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. Okay? 6250. 9/11 baking stream with Raf and Capri. If we get to this goal by 9/11...
No thanks. And some people are gonna say that, you know what I mean? That's why it's the difference.
This is a cracker take.
okay, maybe not her. How about this person?
Is distasteful to many. I think it's dumb because if someone made the same statements towards her, she threw a hissy fit. Despite many wanting her banned from Twitch for this, she never—
I think they give away like OnlyFans girls there.
Okay. Hey, how about this guy over here?
With its own face. Can somebody just like, it would just be so easy to just, it will solve all of our problems. Like, we would have socialism now at this point, right? We would have socialism at this point if someone just went out of their way and
if you're gonna collab with these type of individuals who are like the most insane and have the most extreme views imaginable, then this video, that's a sign that this video is gonna be awful, like pure awful. The first point iDubbbz makes against Ethan Klein for the video is that he's only attacking creators who are pro-Palestine and only for the purpose of them being pro-Palestine. This is despite the fact that Ethan has been critical of the IDF and the Israeli government for a while, and has been critical of West Bank settlers. The evidence that iDubbbz proves for Ethan being only attacking people for being pro-Palestine is two extremely out of context clips.
He looks like Millhouse, fucking dork. Denims, by the way, was the real villain of the video. Evil, hateful, fucking. And I'll say it and I'll double down on it. And people, oh no, did I not go there?
And it's all culminated, at least for my story.
He doesn't have many nice things to say. Is he gonna say it?
What are they? Just leave us wondering.
Maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship.
Really?
I won't speak for Ethan, Ian, but I don't know if you're watching this. I just have a feeling that that friendship's probably over for the foreseeable future. But I appreciate your optimism. You know, looking on the bright side.
So that's been my approach. I've occasionally thrown a joke Ethan's way.
Oh yeah, this whole thing started, didn't it? When they made some joke about how I said
Story. In Ethan burning bridges with people until he burned the
fires Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, triggering protests in Israel. Demonstration in Tel Aviv, widely seen by Israel's allies as a break on far-right elements of the Israeli government. Again, this isn't just my opinion. This is opinion that's held by internationally, that he is a moderating voice on the war cabinet, once again, advocating for the war to end, which is what I thought we all wanted. Here's another article from The Guardian.
Bridge with me. Since Ethan and Hassan's falling out, I've been keeping to myself mostly. I don't have many nice things to say. Maybe if Ethan's able to get some help, maybe if he stops harassing other creators, maybe if he does these things, eventually he'll find peace and we can like rekindle our friendship. In the form of Hassan Piker versus Ethan Klein for boxing.
I like iDubbbz. He's a good guy, but I don't.
And also, Ethan is only attacking people because they're pro-terrorism and they have like extreme views. And he's only also attacking people who are going to defend individuals like Bad Banana, who is a known doxer, harasser, and just a human STD in general. Also, the creators that iDubbbz is mentioning that Ethan is wrongfully calling out, they deserve to be called out. Like, they're not innocent themselves. He also is saying that iDubbbz is harassing these creators when these creators are literally doing the same thing when they did this whole CPS shit. Like, they were making up conspiracies about his dog contracting Jarda and his kids eating dog shit or whatever. And then some of their fans decided to call CPS because of the shit that they spread. And by shit, I mean like lie. Bro is talking about people taking his ideology to the extreme when he is literally collabing with the biggest extremists online right now. Like Mr. Terror Sympathizer over here, Mrs. America Deserve 9/11, Mrs. American Soldiers Deserve PTSD, and Mr. Send Death Threat to some random streamer. So I constantly see like new iDubbbz fans. Although I doubt that they even are fans. I think they're like, for me, they're like fake fans. I constantly see these people be like, you're just mad that iDubbbz doesn't say slurs anymore and is growing up. No, nobody really cares that Ian doesn't say slurs anymore. They're just mad because he has no personality, no humor, and it's just boring. And they're also mad at him for defending political extremists, and also because he's like a fucking pussy. Also, the reason that you're claiming that he grew up isn't because of anything like that. It's just because his political leanings have changed. He never grew up. He's still like hateful or whatever. It's just that his political leaning has changed. That's all. The next point iDubbbz goes after Ethan for is when Ethan and his family were being swatted by CPS after someone called them and basically falsely told them that, hey, this crazy stuff was going on when it actually wasn't. And so CPS went to their house.
If you want to hang out with those people and have no spine and not stand up for another girl that stood up for you, enjoy your new friends.
She's friends with people like Denims.
I know. Yeah.
Which I'll show.
With
Denims is actually participating in this whole Child Protective Service lie.
Yeah,
which I'll
and if
show
you're
you guys
friends with
instead.
them, then you're saying what they're saying.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are friends with Denims, but I would say it's the same level of friendship that we had with Ethan and Hila. It's like kind of an internet friendship. We think that she's a good person like we think Ethan and Hila are good.
And because of how stressed they wanted people who played a part in the CPS. One of those people being Denims, by the way, who Ian says that he likes and thinks is a good person. I don't think a good person would put a bounty on someone. Anyways, Ethan was calling out iDubbbz and Anissa for being friends with Denims while the whole CPS stuff was going on. And iDubbbz in the Conicop said that it's kind of similar to how Ethan is friends with this person named Steiny, who's like a very popular influencer, and how Steiny is friends with Andrew Tate, probably the biggest douchebag on the planet.
I just don't see how you can be my friend and also be friends with someone like that.
Well, you can't. So I already forgot about you.
I actually have a lot of friendships that are kind of that way, where it's like, one of the friends doesn't f with the other friend, but there is someone in the middle who kind of fucks with both of them.
The thing is, when it comes to Ethan Klein and Andrew Tate, most of the beef between them is more just a disagreement. While with Ethan Klein and Denims and you being friends with both of them, Denims literally supports CPS being taken away from Ethan. It's totally different than like Andrew Tate and Ethan Klein and Steiny being friends with both of them. This is like another false equivalency. And this video is full with a lot of false equivalencies, by the way. Also, iDubbbz did say that they didn't support harassment, but in this video, his response to this whole CPS thing is like worse. He doesn't even mention CPS at all.
What I'm talking about, this aggression that you're putting out into the world. What the f do you think we're gonna do? You think I'm gonna fucking sit on my hands when you do this shit? Like, this is nasty. We had such a fair response to what you guys were going through. We don't support harassment. It's a bad thing, but it happens, and you're perpetuating.
Oh, harassment just happens. Call CPS coming to my house and people supporting it. It happens, man. Like, this is stupid. Getting swatted by CPS doesn't just happen. It's not just your typical thing, iDubbbz. Or you know what? It should be iCucks from now on, okay? Not iDubbbz.
Have you ever been in a comment section and found someone to argue with? It doesn't stop. It can literally go on forever if you don't want to touch grass.
Bro is telling Ethan to touch grass when he is collabing with political extremists on the far left. Cough cough Denims, cough cough Frogan, cough cough Hassan Piker. Like, next thing you know, this guy is probably gonna defend human STD Georgianitis. And also, if you're someone who's dick riding Hassan Piker, you are in zero position to tell anybody to be touching grass. And you know what's also crazy? Is that he's screwing over his own boxing event. So one of the employees for the H3 podcast, Lena Ayad, is fighting in Creator Clash 3, which is a boxing event owned by iDubbbz. And seeing how iDubbbz released the content cop on Ethan Klein and how Lena is an employee for Ethan and how she's also fighting in iDubbbz's boxing event, this gave her a mental breakdown according to some employees at the H3 podcast. That's pretty messed up, dude. That is actually pretty messed up. Like, you literally just fucked over your event for your own longtime friend, and you literally also are gonna risk one of your own fighters. Like, next thing, like Creator Clash 3, it's gonna be bomb. It's gonna bomb harder than the Great Depression. It's gonna be worse than like Creator Clash 2. Next up, iDubbbz admits that he's being a Hassan cocksucker and is saying how Ethan Klein is being at the end of the harassment.
There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack. Now, in fairness, I am attacking back, but I feel very insulted and I feel defensive and I feel like I am speaking up for a lot of people who have problems with you and a lot of people who have been on the receiving end of your harassment.
iDubbbz is actually delusional over here because who's the one who's been sending CPS to Ethan Klein's house? Who's the one in these snark subreddits who are constantly harassing Ethan and his employees? Oh, right. Hassan's Goonies and the dick riders in his fan base. Like, did his wife make him make this video and make him lose like this much brain cells? Like, oh my god. Also, iDubbbz talks about why he didn't say much on this whole CPS thing.
There isn't a single person that I respect who would give a fuck if I publicly said that Ethan and Hila are great with their kids, Ethan and Hila didn't kill their dog, and Ethan and Hila wipe their asses or don't have giardia or whatever the prompt is. No one would care. The only person who would care is me because I'm like, why did I tweet this out? I'm not tweeting out because I'm not your lapdog. That's why I'm not tweeting it out. I'm not saying it to my audience because I don't give a
Let me tell you why he didn't. Because the Hassan dick riders and the Bad Empanada human STDs are gonna consume his ass wide. They're gonna eat him alive. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen to him. And next thing you know, Creator Clash 3 is gonna bomb because of these guys. But it was gonna bomb either way because none of the fighters are relevant. Like, why didn't we get like an iDubbbz versus Leafy fight or iDubbbz versus Rice Gum or any other fight? like Sam Hyde versus Hassan. And once again, iDubbbz does more hypocrisy shit again with bullying or whatever.
He thinks I'm weak. He thinks a lot of these other creators that he's gone out of his way to attack, he thinks that they're weak, and he thinks they're a target that he can bully, he can manipulate, he can send lawsuits to. And I want him to know that we're not going to be bullied. You're being a piece of shit.
Bruh, you're literally siding with someone who is trying to justify CPS taking Ethan's kids away. Now, the next part is about Ethan Klein not realizing that Hassan was a socialist and the whole Leftovers podcast. The criticism is that how did he not know that this guy has different opinions from him, or in my case, why he didn't know that this guy was insane.
I started to wonder if I had any idea who this guy actually is.
You made how many episodes with Hassan? Like, this guy made a program with the biggest mega leftist on the platform. Now he's acting like he was tricked and he was incapable of figuring out what this guy's beliefs were. Bro, I didn't make the fucking leftist program. You did. You made fucking, what, 60 some odd episodes of this shit? For hours talking to this guy? You didn't have a problem with any of it until...
The reason why, according to Ethan, as he responded, was because he basically thought that this guy was a social democrat because of what he said himself. Though, a criticism I am going to give of Ethan, though, is that he should have done more research, because it should have been... Everyone who knows who Hassan is should know that this guy has the brand of being like a socialist, or what I like to call a champagne socialist, or a communist with like a Gucci bag or whatever. Also, the people he's claiming who he's harassing, they're not innocent people. Again, Noah Samson made a slanderous hit piece on Ethan Klein, and Bad and Banana is spreading conspiracies about Ethan. Alright, next up, iDubbbz defends this like tier list where they rated who could say Habibi, which is like an Arabic word for affection, like sweetheart, my love, and baby. And they rated it based on like Arab being at the top and Love Sabra being at the bottom. And people thought it was racist because Love Sabra is a hummus brand from Israel. And also, Sabra literally means a Jew born in Israel. And he defends it and comparing it to when Ethan and Hassan rated racial slurs against white people.
Oh, another thing I need to mention. There was a tier list. It was called the Who Can Say Habibi tier list. It was presented at TwitchCon as like a panel that was just meant to be lighthearted and fun. And Ethan Klein saw that, and he decided that it was anti-Semitic.
Tier list them, and we're going to need your help to discuss and figure out who can say Habibi and who can't.
And also, we have tiers. We have Arab coded. They ask permission to say Habibi. You know, like you got like a white guy who's like, can I say it? Is it a slur? And then Love Sabra, which is they're not Arab coded at all.
Now, when I first saw this tier list, I immediately knew what it was doing. I was like, oh, it's a play on the who has the N-word pass and who doesn't tier list. Granted, Habibi is very different than the N-word, but it is a cultural word amongst Arabic-speaking people and Muslim people. Like, that is a word that's used. Habibi, it means my love. Oh no, don't do that, Habibi. Oh yes, Habibi. You're my Habibi, I'm your Habibi. So yes, it's meant to be a fun way that these Arab content creators can express their Arab culture and be proud of it and happy about it, because it's not like they have massive representation on the platform.
Making a tier list based on race, and nobody has a fucking problem with that. Okay, you have a tier list based on race. Where's the Jewish panel? Where's the Jewish panel? Where at the top it says Jewish. It's a tier list based on Arab to Jew. He's Arab, which is good. That's the best thing you can be on this. That's the best. This is racist.
I will say that conveying information through a tier list is not the most effective thing, but Ethan should understand this principle. He did a white slurs tier list with Hassan.
Cracker.
I mean, you know what my take is.
We can't put this as an F. Cracker. I mean, that's got to be at least a D, right?
Pale face motherfucker.
Pale face. I mean, again, I think that's an F. Hog.
So Hog is my favorite.
Here's the difference, iDubbbz. They're rating words and they're not being racist themselves. They're just rating words. When it comes to that Habibi tier list or whatever, they are doing dog whistling by comparing people with Arab at the top and loves Jewish Israelis at the bottom. And also for the thumbnail, they basically put Ben Shapiro, who another prominent Jewish YouTuber and political commentator, when he's not even in the game. And the title for that event on their YouTube is "How Arab Are These Streamers?" So it is a race thing. It's just basically like racist dog whistles from these people. After that, iDubbbz basically gives this like cringe thing about like the creators that Ethan has been calling out to say something nice about him.
Something nice and charitable about him because I think he deserves it.
I just wanted to say that I respect that you are genuinely yourself on the internet. I think a lot of other people respect you for it as well. I think that's a big reason why people were drawn to your content in the first place. I think that's a lot of the reason why your employees chose to work with you over anyone else.
H3 used to be the sports for good that I used to watch. I hope that one day gets back to what I remember. You were one of the inspirations for me to start creating content, so all this has stunk. I hope you really hear this, and I wish you the best.
I think Ethan Klein rocks a buzz cut pretty good.
And this is just gaslighting. Don't believe me that it's gaslighting? Here's one of the creators who are a part of this, like, say something nice about Ethan, admitting that it's gaslighting.
And, like, I want you to Hassan watch it. And Hassan doesn't have a nice thing about Ethan. And the chat asked what I'm thinking. I'm like, wait, you didn't do a nice thing about Ethan? And he was like, no. And I'm like, wait, that was an option? I could have just said no. Mr. Charitability over here. Mr. Charitability over here said no to saying a nice thing about Ethan, but I did. All right, dude.
Hi all, so an update on this H3 versus iDubbbz drama. Ethan decided to release a response video to the content cop in his old H3H3 Productions channel. In that response, he only focuses on one point and says that most of all the other points he focuses on a podcast episode, which is like 4 hours long. Don't worry, I watched the entire thing. He basically debunks a lot of the things, and I recommend you go watch it at like 2 times speed. Anyways, Ethan wanted to talk about one central point that was missing throughout the entire content cop. That was being CPS. When people were calling CPS because of a false story about their baby having Giardia because their dogs had it and how the baby was having diarrhea, but it wasn't Giardia. And so this became like a rumor that the baby had Giardia, and so Snark decided to call CPS. And most of the clips iDubbbz shows of quote-unquote Ethan crashing out was because Ethan was mad at people who were supporting like the CPS call.
Yeah, so go fuck yourself.
I agree.
Who else? Who else do we want to burn today?
Who else do we want to burn today? You're making it so fucking obvious that this is your emotional dumping ground. It's horrible. This is not what podcasts are. There was a way to approach this to say like, yeah, we feel hurt by you guys not saying something. You've decided to do the extra thing and attack.
In this episode, the same day that CPS came to my home, I was understandably irate. This was a provocation that I had not experienced. It went into my real world, was affecting my children and my life in a way that I found extremely disturbing and an escalation that I found very unacceptable.
And the reason that Ethan was calling out Denims was because she was supporting the CPS shit, and iDubbbz decided to cut context of it.
Now, why am I mad at Ian for this? Well, let's start here. Denims is someone he's accusing me of in his video of harassing. Let's see what Denims said about my children 3 days before CPS was called.
He lets his dogs shit all over his mansion, and he just leaves the shit on the floor, something that is probably related to the fact that his former housekeeper is suing him for a number of different reasons. So I would assume he doesn't actually have a housekeeper anymore, or perhaps he lost his extra housekeeper. So now the house is just like covered in dog shit. And he has kids, and his kids like crawl into the dog shit, and God forbid, I don't know what they do with it. I don't know if they eat it, or if it's just from like contact with it with their hands or something, but they contracted a parasite that I had previously never heard of in my life called Giardia from the dog shit that is all over his house.
Dude, how is it that like maybe once a week I look into what Ethan Klein's been up to, and every time I manage to find more and more terrible shit. This is where Ethan tells a story about his family getting Giardia.
We already have mold Mondays. Now we have shit Saturdays.
Also, this is not a joking matter, by the way. It can be very severe and deadly to small children. I mean, much like many other illnesses, it's very, very, very dangerous when infants get the same sicknesses that adults get. There are lots of things that you can get as an adult. You're totally fine. You'll be A-okay. No problem. A child, a small infant that has no immune system, shouldn't be catching anything.
No wonder his house is covered in dog shit, and his neglected children raised by nannies have contracted parasites previously unknown to science from the feces. I wonder why he skipped over all of this, because everything that I said in this story, which by the way was apparently compiled by his crew, playing...
No wonder this motherfucker's always sick. Yeah, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. It makes sense why he doesn't care about Palestinian children when he is neglecting his own. How is this happening? How is it happening? How is this happening? Yeah, I mean, I don't even make fun of people's weight. I've never made fun of people's weight. I do make fun of people's posture. If you're making an active decision that like you don't give a fuck about your health or your posture or your dog shitting all over the house to the point where your kids are getting giardia, that's the image of someone who is not well. Wait, what? Wait, what, Dams? Wait, what? You guys didn't know about this? Yeah. Meth Zempic diet. Oh, God.
Even after CPS was called, Denims attempted to justify it by claiming that it's okay because children can't be traumatized.
I want you to create any bad memory here for them. Like, they are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit. So I told him,
create any bad memory for them. You're not forming memories at 3 years old, and it's very rare that you're forming memories at 5 years old. Nah, yes, you are. No, you're not. When we're talking about being able to remember, being able to recall memories, it's like 4 is the cutoff. But even if you are forming any memories at 4, you're not going to be able to remember them past like 15. You have maybe 1 or 2 memories.
And probably the thing that scared the living shit out of me was the part where someone sent human skulls to Ethan's house. And based on the pictures I've seen, those are real skulls of a real human being.
There's something that I've never talked about publicly, but around the same time, we received 2 human skulls in the mail at our home, which led us to having a very pleasant interview with the FBI.
Even if you hate a certain individual, and that goes to people who hate Hassan as well and hate Ethan, you don't send fucking skulls to anybody? That is psychotic. He also calls out like Bad and Banana for being a crucial role in that CPS thing. And let me just tell you, this Bad and Banana guy is fucking psychotic. And someone needs to humble Bad and Banana, like holy. So, in conclusion, iDubbbz, just log off the internet. We don't want to see any more videos made by you, and we don't want to see any more Hassan Piker meat writing from you. And I hope that Creator Clash 3 bombs. I hope it bombs harder than the Great Depression. And I hope it bombs harder than the bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I want to lick those tears of yours the moment you basically say that Creator Clash 3 was a massive failure. I want to lick those tears. Anyways, y'all, see you in the next one. Peace.